What is up, guys? Rick Hackis here, going over Suros Hand Cannons in Destiny. Now, if you're having trouble thinking of an example of a Suros Hand Cannon, that's because there aren't really any in the game. When foundries were added in the Taken King, unfortunately, Bungie left out a lot of the gun combinations. Haka Scout Rifles, Omolon Auto Rifles, and in this case, Suros Hand Cannons. Now additionally, although foundries were a good step forward for the loot system, they really didn't diversify the loot system as much as was hoped, and frankly, as much as Bungie promised it would. A lot of the guns really aren't that different, even if they're in different foundries, with one exception: Haka Pulse Rifles. You see, Haka Pulse Rifles shoot in bursts of 4, and because of this they have different damage than any other pulse rifle within the game. And people who play Destiny know that using a Haka Pulse Rifle gives you a slightly different experience than using a normal 3-round burst pulse rifle within the game. This level of differentiation is what I hope to achieve in today's video, going over my idea for what Suros Hand Cannons would be if they were introduced into Destiny. And with the new DLC announcements that just came out, this is exactly the kind of stuff that Bungie should be adding. Actually, new loot that's different than what is already in the game. We don't want any more reskins. We want new, differentiated loot that's actually going to give you a different gameplay experience when you're playing the game. So with that out of the way, let's get started. So, what would Suros Hand Cannons be? Well, I asked my subs in some of the past videos, what their ideas were, and a lot of people were saying, and I ended up agreeing with these people, that Suros Hand Cannons should be burst fire. We don't really have any burst fire hand cannons, and I think we easily could. Now, before I get too in-depth into this explanation, I do want to explain that my good friend Benjamin Radaman, who does all of the concept art for all of these missing gun type videos and even does his own concept art for exotics, is providing me with these awesome concepts that you're seeing in the background. These are totally what Suros Hand Cannons could look in-game in Destiny. So he's going to be linked in the description. I would highly recommend you check him out. And again, it really just adds to the fact that these could totally, as you're seeing, be in the game. So let's continue with the explanation. So a burst fire hand cannon. Just think about a 2-round burst hand cannon. So you have your Suros hand cannon and you can shoot, it goes ba-ba, 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 has that like burst, and it really could be something different and special to utilize in the game. I think it would be really cool if you have this burst fire hand cannon that, maybe you could even kill in the same amount of shots that it would normally take, -1. So you would kill in 3 bursts as opposed to 3 shots, let's say, with a normal hand cannon. But if you're landing all of your bursts, like all of the headshots, maybe you would even kill in like 2.5 bursts. So you technically have a higher time to kill if you're extremely accurate with all your bursts. And, right in and of itself, we have some different archetypes, because we don't just have to have 2-round burst. We can have 3-round burst. Heck, even pump it up to a 4-round burst Suros Hand Cannons. And you have all of these different types of bursts, all of these different numbers of bursting hand cannons. You have all these different archetypes already, and you're already adding all of this different differentiation. Maybe you get a 3-round burst Suros Hand Cannon, maybe you get a 2-round burst, maybe you get a 4-round burst, maybe you get a 5-round burst. It would really just add, again, to the differentiation of the game, because there is nothing in this game like a 4-round burst hand cannon right now. And so adding something like that is going to change your gameplay style dramatically. And obviously the damage values of each shot is going to have to vary dramatically from what we find in traditional hand cannons. And you can just leave Bungie up to that. They can just make the damage whatever it has to be in order for the time to kill to align with the current time to kills of other hand cannons. It really wouldn't be that difficult of a job. So, burst fire hand cannons added into Destiny as the Suros Hand Cannon archetype. But let's go one step further, because when Bungie originally was talking about the foundries, each foundry had its own pillars of design that weren't really followed, sadly. Now, Suros actually did have one of its pillars was that it's customizable. It can change on the fly and adapt to the situation that it's in. So why not make the Suros hand cannons actually follow what Suros was always meant to be? let's make it so that the bursts can be controlled by certain perks that can only spawn. These are unique perks that can spawn on Suros Hand Cannons, and let's say you can get a perk for your 2-round burst Suros Hand Cannon. So again, you shooting it like ba-ba, 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 that's the burst. And excuse my terrible lip representation of what this would be, but I'm doing the best I can. And then you could put on this perk, let's say, and instead of shooting ba-ba, 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 suddenly you're going bra, 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 and now you fucking shit up. Like your fire rate would increase dramatically by putting this perk on, but your damage would also decrease. So now suddenly you've got faster bursts and a faster fire rate, and your accuracy would increase as well. This would be what you would want to do if you're in PvP. You want to increase the accuracy, you want to guarantee those headshots landed, and you want to increase your rate of fire. So maybe it would take 4 bursts to kill an enemy, but again, with that massive increase to accuracy, you will be able to really land those headshots. Really important in PvP. However, change it to a different perk, or take that perk off and you can adapt to a different situation. Go back to the ba-ba, ba-ba, the slow shooting burst, and in that case you're going to have recoil within each burst. Difficult to land your shots in PvP, but massively increased damage. Where would this be good? PvE. This would focus on just overall damage output. Again, what you want for PvE, you're not too concerned if you miss a headshot on a Cabal. You're more concerned on doing as much damage as possible. In PvP, you'd be willing to take that damage down a tick just to massively increase your accuracy and guarantee those headshots. So again, you have, through unique perks, a differentiation, a customization with these Suros Hand Cannons that I think would really spice up the game. And you can do this method. You can have these perks that either slow down the burst and increase the damage but increase recoil, or speed up the burst and increase accuracy but decrease damage. And you could have these different perks for each of the different archetypes. You could have it for the 3-round bursting ones, the 4-round bursting ones, all of that stuff. And if Bungie actually implements anything even close to this idea, you would have a massive, massive increase of diversity into Destiny. So if you guys agree with this idea, please remember to rate and share this video. The better this video does, the more popular it gets, the better chance Bungie actually sees it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more Destiny content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. Now, if you want to get in touch with me, the best way by far is to follow me on Twitter. That's linked in the description of this video, as is my Twitch channel, which you can follow as well. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.